Don't be doing that shit.
What? Why?
All right. We are back again.
Hey.
It's been so long since last time. Let's keep this formal. That's not going to happen.
Friday. Yeah, we did one Friday. We did one Friday, or was it Saturday?
Saturday.
Okay, I couldn't remember. Friday was when I made my gumbo. That's right. So, unfortunately, this is the last stream because, as you can tell by my T-shirt, I have to go back to Louisiana tomorrow.
How does your T-shirt say that?
I have an 11 o'clock flight out of Pittsburgh to Atlanta and then back to Lafayette, Louisiana. And I, to add insult to injury, I got to go work for my 12-hour shifts Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Anyway, it's okay. We all got to come back home sometimes. And I've had 8 days off. Like, I've been off since Tuesday of last week. So this has been fun. I didn't think that they were going to give me that much time off. Otherwise, hell, I probably would have came here the Wednesday, but it's all good. We all got to go back home to reality sometime. This was great. Normally, I don't come super early this year, but as we talked about in the previous live stream, I believe there was originally a toy show, a train show specifically that was scheduled for this weekend. And I think it was maybe due to poor funding or poor attendance or something. I don't think it was ever specifically stated, but due to a lack of something, it was canceled. But we still came here anyway, because normally I don't come here till like the third quarter of the year. So this was like pretty early for me. At the moment, I'm not super sure if I'm going to make 2 trips this year just because, admittedly speaking, there are other trips I like to do. I still want to go to Las Vegas. I am going to go to Atlanta for my birthday. My birthday is next month. So either at like the end of April or the beginning of May, I'll be going to Atlanta for like a 3-day weekend as well. I have similar to Corey, I actually have a friend that lives in Kentucky. Y'all are so much alike too. Like, they talk the same. They got like super deep voices. His is obviously more of a little bit of that Kentucky twang, whereas Corey is whatever the Pennsylvania accent is considered to be. But his name's Devin. He's really cool. He's kind of like a gamer, anime nerd like me. And we have been talking since like 2019, I think. And we're in 2023. So I haven't known him as long as Corey,
Hey, Levi.
13 years with Corey. But he's another good friend that I'd like to go meet. So I do have to, budget my time and my money to try to go on some of these other places that I want to go. Because if I don't, I'll never do it. Especially Vegas. Because if I win big in Vegas, maybe get like $30,000 or something. Shoot, I could go on all the trips I want.
Here's my advice.
What?
Make sure your gas tank's full.
Yeah.
Pay for your hotel room. Leave your wallet at home. Well, your credit card, at least.
I suppose so, huh? I'll probably take out like $200 from the bank and just spend it until it's gone. And then I'll be like, oh well. Levi, it's okay. Honestly, we were late as well. We have been working nonstop since we got home at like 3:30, 4 o'clock on this daggum Yu-Gi-Oh! Chronicles, which I forgot how much I hated working on Yu-Gi-Oh! Chronicles, which probably is why I stopped doing it in the first place. But it's making a comeback. We're trying to, anyways. My friend Stefan is the other person that's involved with the series, and he's got a lot going on. He's getting a second house. He just got a wife, and they're trying to have a kid. So there's a lot of like personal things going on in his life that are really interrupting the production of Yu-Gi-Oh! Chronicles, because he's in it. Like, it's only me and him, and we're playing just about everybody, because we don't have cast members. So I at least need Stefan. And if I don't have Stefan, then I can't move forward with production. This episode that we're making with Corey, it's super late. I think I'm going to try to make Yu-Gi-Oh! Chronicles Season 2 about 8 to 10 episodes, I would say. And this is like one of the last ones. This is like the third from the last, I would say. Either second to last or third to last episode. But obviously, the reason that we're filming it now is because I'm here with him. And I'm not going to have this opportunity again, potentially until next year. So, and the weather wasn't great this weekend. You know, the last couple times I came, it was sunny. The weather was nice. We did farm work. We went places. I mean, to recap this weekend, I guess, I came Friday. First thing we did Friday was we went grocery shopping. I made Corey and his family a gumbo, a Louisiana gumbo, chicken, sausage, you know, and I got all kinds of fixins. And then Saturday, we went to Doolittle's and spent a whole day at Doolittle's. Then we did a live stream here. Yesterday, we went to the tunnel. We started filming Yu-Gi-Oh! Chronicles, but then we got cut off because a lot of people from the public started coming, and it was interfering with our production because we were literally filming right in the mouth of the tunnel, which is obviously where everybody goes in and out of the property through. So we had to stop and switch gears to exploring and hiking. So today, the only thing that we literally did today was finish production of Yu-Gi-Oh! Chronicles,
which we would have been done with an hour earlier
if I hadn't forgot the goddamn script at home. We literally left, drove to the place, and I was like, oh my God.
Well, we were not too far from there.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I could have jumped off of a bridge. I was so upset. So we had to go back home, get the script, and then go back to the tunnel. And thank the good Lord that there was nobody there. Nobody came the entire... Oh, looks like Corey's got a phone call. Might be from his parents. So I'm going to be quiet.
I used to have parents.
Yeah. Anyway, he's going to go upstairs and take the call. So, yeah. We originally got to the Clarion Tunnel at 10 o'clock. But because of all the delays and stuff, we didn't get there till 11. And then it had been like a whole day. So we're like, all right, where were we? Like, even though we had the script in front of us, we're like, okay, what's been done? What's been not done? So we kind of shot a lot of duplicate shots. You know, we finished, long story short, we finished production, I think 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, I think, is when we finished production of the episode. And then we went to some place, the Sakura buffet, I don't know, like a Chinese, Japanese fusion buffet style place, and really good. I still haven't even I didn't even eat dinner yet because the lunch was so late and it was so much, and I don't want my tummy to come out to here. I want it to be here. Because we get into the spring season, and down south it's already back to being hot again. So we gotta get summer ready a little early down south. You know, yeah, mistakes do happen, Levi. This is one that definitely made my frustration threshold drop quite a bit. But so no, literally since we got home, we have been working on this episode the whole time. And we pretty much have all of the clips put together. It's going to be about a 17 or 18 minute long video. But even after we get all the clips together, there's still a lot that we have to add. We have to add music. We have to add sound effects and very mild visual effects. Obviously, I'm leaving tomorrow. So I don't know if this can be 100% completed before I go back home to Louisiana. I'm really not sure. But I am willing to stay up as late as I can. Because as long as I get about maybe 5 hours of sleep, like if I can sleep from like 2 a.m. to 7 a.m., that should be enough for me to get in. Because I got to leave here like, you know, Corey lives like 2 hours from Pittsburgh, which is the closest place that I can get to even come here. So I got to get in my rental car. I got to drive the 2 hours to Pittsburgh, dump off the rental car, and then make a mad dash towards the TSA checkpoint, which moves really quick in Pittsburgh. They have an excellent TSA system. This will be my third time getting through it, of course, but The other 2 times, I got through in like 10 minutes. I mean, it was great, very efficient. And then they posted somewheres on the walls inside of the Pittsburgh airport that apparently they're known for that. So that's good. Because let me tell you something. In New Orleans, I fly out of New Orleans sometimes. Oh my God, it is definitely not fast. Oh my Jesus. They need to, whatever Pittsburgh doing, they need to start doing in New Orleans. Because, man, it take me like an hour to get through the TSA checkpoint in New Orleans. Oh, my Jesus. It's crazy. And then, time of day, day of the week, time of the year, that also makes a really big difference, too. But New Orleans is a revolving door. It's tourism 24/7 in that city. Whereas Pittsburgh, I'm sure it's not. So that can make a big difference, too. But back to the whole Yu-Gi-Oh! Chronicles thing. I want to get this done while I'm here because Corey, he's got the script, so he can at least read what the video flow is supposed to be. But, he doesn't know, like, necessarily some of the effects I want to do, the music, the background, stuff like that. I still need to give a lot of input. So we do have to kind of keep this live stream to pretty much strictly an hour because we're going to continue working on that. I kind of don't like that this is how we're spending our last night together, but like I said, it was kind of a quiet weekend. Compared to like the first time I came here and then the second time I came here with my brother, this weekend was a very, very quiet visit, which is kind of one of the reasons why I would like to try coming back here again, maybe like 6 to 8 months from now. Like again in like the October or September season, just depends because I definitely want to spend more time doing some other things because this production of Yu-Gi-Oh! Chronicles, I mean, even though I love it, even though it's pretty badass, and I think y'all are gonna like it too, we are slaving away at this. We are taking turns slaving away at this. Like he'll edit it for a while, then I'll edit for a while, then he'll edit for a while. And I imagine it's just going to keep back and forth until it's done. Yep. So, Corey, what was that?
Phone call.
Your mama or no?
Yeah, my mama.
Golly. What'd they say?
Is that really relevant?
I'm just curious. Whatever. Yeah. So the Yu-Gi-Oh! Chronicles video, we'll upload like some of the behind the scenes stuff, I guess that'll maybe be on my channel as well. The episode itself will absolutely be on my YouTube channel because it's my series. But, credit, of course, will be given to Corey because he's doing like we're both doing like 50% into this, Some of the behind the scenes stuff we might post on Corey's channel just to kind of also act as a teaser, because we had 2 video cameras. We had the phone camera, and then we have like my actual like Sony. But this thing like 8 or 10 years old. It probably shoots in like 720p if I had to guess. But I got it with YouTube money on a Cyber Monday. It was like a $225 camera. Cyber Monday brought it down by $100. And then I had a $125 check from YouTube that paid the camera. So the camera was free. And I mean, it works good. It's not a bad camera. And if I was to start getting back professionally into YouTube, then maybe I would upgrade. But honestly, the quality of the camera matched Corey's iPhone pretty well. So probably just use the camera because it's what I already got. And I mean, I'm a registered nurse. That's my line of work. That's how I make my money. That's how I make my living. YouTube don't make my living. It don't pay my bills. If it did, that would be different, But other than that, yeah, I got to go to work. This is just for fun for me, Die Pet Thomas review on YouTube and make sure to post link of your video of your unboxing. Yeah, sure.
Hey, I film with a smartphone. I'll use the term smartphone. As long as it films in 1080p, 60 frames per 60, 30, 60 frames per second, whichever. That's good enough for me. The only downside to this is the microphone is shit.
Oh, the microphone is garbage.
Which I can easily rectify that by getting proper mic to plug into it, or I'd like to get some lavalier microphones. But, this serves me well. It works. I have no issues with it. Go back to like my model train videos. Pretty much a majority of all my videos on YouTube are shot with this. Granted, some of my other ones were shot with this little guy until I don't think I need to explain it. But, yeah. And I actually had a few people commented there. They were surprised that I actually used a smartphone, considering how just stable some of my videos are.
Most definitely.
And in other news, politics. Yeah. On our next topic. New upload tomorrow. Probably nothing exciting, but more train content, basically.
And then, we filmed a few vlogs while we were here, like obviously when we were at Doolittle's, a little bit about driving in the car,
getting stuck on the interstate.
Getting stuck on the interstate. We filmed. We're filming Yu-Gi-Oh! Chronicles at the Clarion train tunnel, but we also filmed a vlog there too. So we would have been working on those things as well.
And a behind-the-scenes video.
And a behind-the-scenes video too. I asked Corey if he wanted to do some stuff today. He's like, no, I don't really want to. So I was like, whatever. So we're probably only going to have
I don't know. Things kind of changed a little bit there when we had to run all the way back to my place. And I thought, probably do something interesting here.
Well, I don't know. It was a good weekend. It was definitely not as eventful as the other two times that I came, but that's not really a bad thing. Sometimes it's good to
did you say for Chinese food?
Yeah, I did. I said we went for Chinese food. Sometimes
so, Christian, if you're watching, I went back to the buffet a second time.
Sometimes it's good just to be with the people you care about,
well,
and that is always paramount to everything else, in my opinion. It really is.
Paramount Pictures.
So well, Paramount means a little bit different, but you're right, So anyway, we're good. So we're about 18 minutes into the stream, trying to think about what else to talk about. We did discover that there are other bridges in the area. Corey is friends with someone on Facebook, and when Corey posted to his social media about the bridge, he's like, hey, boy, you went to that bridge? And he's like, yeah. Well, check this out. I went to a bridge too. And there's some kind of bridge that is... It's not quite as dangerous. Like the one me and Corey went on, I ain't even gonna lie, y'all. That bridge was dangerous. I'm not saying don't go, but you better be careful. The wind was blowing strong.
Tie a rope around your waist.
You better have... I would definitely recommend do not go alone. First of all, do not go alone to this bridge. If you are alone, do not walk across this bridge. You need to have someone with you, preferably someone other than Corey, though, because Corey kept making jokes about pushing me off the bridge the whole time.
No, I did the same thing at Jake's Rocks last year.
And I was literally... Well, Jake's Rocks was different. I didn't care
about
that.
Was still a hell of a fall.
I would have been all right.
I'm just there like, I could push him right over the edge and nobody would ever know.
Yeah, this bridge, though, I mean, you're literally, some of the wood's dry rotted. So you really don't want to walk in the center of the bridge. You really want to walk either on the left or the right. So the direction that we were walking, the wind was coming from our left. And it was, I don't really know how to gauge the strength. I didn't look at the weather reports, but it felt like somewhere between 10 to 20 miles per hour, which is pretty strong wind gust. And they were coming from the left. So we made damn sure that we stayed on the side of the bridge that the wind was coming from, because at least if it would have blown us down, we would have fell on the bridge. You know what I'm saying? Because that the wind's coming from the left-hand side and I'm standing on the right side of the bridge, there ain't nothing to catch me if I fall to my death. So, yeah. This other one, though, that Corey's friend sent him, it's a bridge, but it looks like it's above like a grass prairie. And it looks like it's maybe like 50 feet in the air, which is still high, don't get me wrong. But it looked like it was going over a piece of somebody's farmland or something. It really wasn't like the dangerous. And it even had like a fence like on the side of the bridge that was meant for walking. Whereas the Clarion Bridge, no, it did not. There was no such fence, no such thing. Nothing. So I'm not saying don't go. But if you go to the abandoned railway bridge in Clarion, Pennsylvania, you better bring a buddy and you better be careful. Otherwise, you could definitely die. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if in like 10 to 15 years, they decide that they close it down to the public.
Oh, by the way, there is something I got for you scalpers out there that might be interested in. There is a hobby shop with some good stuff on the other side of that bridge.
Oh, yeah. We made it to the other side of the bridge.
Yep, go ahead and cross.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not as bad as he says it is.
Yeah. There was a hobby shop located on the other side of that train bridge, and they got all the classic 1990s, 2000s Thomas and Friends, Ertl, and Wind Railway merchandise mint in the package. And they have it in droves. They have boxes. There's cardboard boxes full of the stuff because there's too much of it to put on the shelves. And all you got to do, baby, is cross that bridge. Come on, baby. Cross that bridge. Go to the other side of that bridge. Oh, by the way, in the middle of the bridge, there is a section where there are no railroad ties. And the only way you can get across is by balancing on the iron beam. If you can do all that, yeah, you can go get those Ertls. You can't go around the other properties, though. So apparently, this property, like this abandoned property, there's actually two tunnels. There's tunnel number 2, which is the one that you access from the road, from the address, the 2700 Piney Drive or whatever, Piney Dam Road, I think it's called. But the other tunnel, which is tunnel 3, because tunnel 1 is somewhere else. I don't know where the hell it is. It's somewhere else in the area. Tunnel 3 is on someone's private property. I don't know who the hell owns the property, but they have it gated off. They have like 8 different signs that very clearly say, do not trespass on this property. So you can't really technically get to the bridge from the other side without breaking any laws. But there sure as hell was a lot of Amish people that did it the other day. I don't know if the Amish people that we saw, if they own the property and that's why they were there. But on the other side of that bridge, there was like literally a dozen Amish people, and they just came from the woods. And they didn't care about that bridge at all. Man, they didn't care about that bridge. They carried a giant railroad, like, piece of wood, a railroad tie, I think it's called. 6 of them. They carried it, and they slung it across the bridge. And when it hit the water, it sounded like a gunshot. And that board just splintered into pieces when it hit the water. It was crazy. Absolutely crazy, Have any of you heard of Hornby and or bought from Hornby? Well, to my knowledge, Hornby is not licensed with Thomas the Tank Engine anymore, so they don't really make any products now. But yeah, I have a Hornby Duck and a Hornby Diesel. The copyright is 2006 on them. Corey, do you have any Hornby trains?
No. Used to back in the day.
I mean, it was cool. It was just, It was definitely more expensive because the British pounds currency is worth more than like American currency. So, like, as an example, let's say that something was like $50. After you convert it over, it's like another 20 or 25. It's quite a difference, actually. So over there, if you from the homeland and you buying it, you're not paying that much, but they only sell Hornby with that currency, unless I guess you go buy off you know, it's kind of weird. It's like it's made in China, but because it's sold and distributed in the United Kingdom, that's why it's based like that. So you can't buy Hornby products in America brand new. I'm sorry.
Well, that's what I remember. You try to get models like a Hornby Oliver back in the day. It was so annoying. You try to get one at auction from the little shunter. And I believe they were in Australia, actually. But you try to a mint and box model. Bidding would be in the $30 to $40 area, I think. They jacked the price clear up to like 80 some, 90 some dollars. And I'm thinking to myself, and unfortunately a lot of it you're competing with, well, back in those days it was still a thing. You were competing with the collector's market. These days it's even worse because, and I mean, the annoying part about it is you get people like that, they're jacking up the bid to buy something they already have 20 of. Yeah. But they need to have another one. It's just like some of these Thomas Wooden Railway products out there.
Yeah.
Somebody's got like 20 some Jameses from, I don't know, 1993 maybe. And they got to have another one.
Yep. It's crazy, man,
But no, I mean, that's even worse these days because, of course, Hornby's discontinued their Thomas range. So if you want to get an Oliver now, you're paying at least $300 minimum.
And then some of them are even worth more money because, like, some of the ones like the Hornby Murdoch, we were actually in a group call on Discord last night with Corey's friend that lives in Michigan, which has one. They only made, I haven't, and look, I haven't Googled this to confirm, so I might just be spouting off bullcrap here, but they only made Hornby Murdoch for like 2 or 3 years. It wasn't for very long, and then they stopped it. And the engine that Murdoch is based off of, which I think is an F9, the materials that they made it with were horrible. It was it disintegrates if it gets wet or exposed to like lubricants and stuff. So it's not made with good material. So you have to be super careful with it. So it's a very brittle model, basically. And then since they don't make them anymore, it's been like over 10 years since they have, and the models are fragile. They're asking for about $2,000 a pop for those things. They really are.
Well, one thing I will say is I believe towards the end of Hornby's range there, I think they did make a limited run of Murdoch and Stepney. It was, I don't know, maybe like 1,000 pieces of each, and that was it. So, and I mean, of course, that's worldwide. But I think it was about that. It might have been only 500 pieces they did for that one time. But
yeah, we're talking about the 9F, the British 210-0. That's Murdoch, what he's based on. And I love Murdoch. Technically, I'm more like an author guy, like Thomas Season 7, when they decided that they was going to... Thomas Season 7 is really when they decided that they were going to flood the market with new train characters for the sake of selling toys. Am I right?
Well, Season 7, they knew how to do it.
They did.
Because, Spencer, Murdoch, Emily, Arthur, these weren't one-off characters. And something I explained to Zach there one time, I didn't understand what the idea was with characters like Dennis, Billy,
Hank the American Engine,
Hank, Flora. Flora was a really good example.
Flora.
You had these one-off characters that you put in the show. You spent the money to build models of these characters,
which are not cheap.
to use them one time.
And then like Neville and Molly, they each only had one episode about themselves, and then they had like another episode where they cameoed, and that was it. That was it. I mean, you know how expensive these Gauge 1 models are, bro? I mean, that's the whole reason why they switched to CGI, because it was a lot more cost effective for the series. Even though, obviously, of course, a lot of us didn't like that, you know.
And I mean, they still, well, back in the early seasons, they knew how to make characters and, one-off characters and get away with it. Like the Diesel, one-off character, City of Turo, one-off character, Flying Scotsman,
one-off
character. Kinda.
He was just as tender.
Yeah, but they knew how to do it. It wasn't they spent the money to build something elaborate only to use it one freaking time.
And even though this episode never came to fruition, they were originally planning on making a Gordon Goes Foreign episode, which of course had Big City Engine in it. And for Big City Engine, they was literally just going to use Henry's body and then put smoke deflectors on the side of his head and change the face. Boom! Big City Engine. That's it.
Well, and it's another deal. They did pretty much the same thing with like Smudger.
Yeah.
Renee's recolor, but
yeah. I mean,
Bertram,
Renee, Smudger, Bertram.
And I guess you could say they had other cases like some of the scrap engines. Like one of them, they just used Douglas without a tender. They had the Ghost engine. They used Scarloey. But I mean, there's a lot of cases where the earlier seasons, they knew how to use like one-off. I mean, I don't know if you'd really call something like the Ghost engine from Duncan Gets Spooked. I don't know if you'd really call that a one-off character because, But again, rather than making an entirely new model or, getting so complex, they just use Scarloey's model. It just, again, it does not make a whole lot of sense why in later seasons, Hit had the bright idea, let's make an entirely new model of a character to only use it one time.
I mean, how many units? I think this is a good business question. How many units of that new character would they have to sell to justify the cost of creating the new character? I mean, I'm sure that these Gauge 1 models were at least a few thousand, like, I don't know, maybe between $2,000 and $3,000 to make. I have no idea, but just estimating. So how many Nevilles would you have to sell? What?
For some reason, I think 2,700 pounds sticks in mind.
That sounds like a reasonable number.
Which is a little like $3,500 maybe.
And I'm sure it's more expensive for. I mean, these are tender engines. Hank, Molly, and Neville. Oh my God! Can you imagine how expensive those things were to build? And now they're just rotting away in Drayton Manor.
Some of them.
But how many units of those models would you have to sell to justify making a new character? Because, man, Billy, oh, God, I bought Tommy Billy, but he ain't it. Oh, I hated Billy. I liked Hank. Hank was cool. I'm Hank. I'm from the United States. Of course, they have to give everybody that comes from America a Southern accent because that's the most prominently culturally known accent from America is the Southern accent. But I tell you what, there's a lot more dialects and accents than this one. It's a melting pot over here. I mean, dude, they have people that migrate to America when they've lived in a place like Africa or Australia their whole life. Dude, they keep their accents. They don't just swap over to,
Well, actually, trying to remember here.
What?
My friend Marty, his wife Julie, I think she was originally in Australia. She originally lived in Australia. She went to England where she met Marty. Well, she developed the British accent.
Yeah.
But I guess when she went back to Australia, she went back to the Australian accent.
Right.
I don't know. I guess it's one of those deals. If you're in that culture long enough, you basically adopt the second accent.
I mean, I'm a chameleon myself. So, like, if I'm hanging around people, like if I go to Boston, Just give me like 2 or 3 days and I'll pick it up. I'll be saying, hey, that's a smart car right there. Let's go to the meat market. You know, like it doesn't necessarily take that long to pick up an accent. And even back home, my accent is so eclectic. A lot of people sometimes people back home in Louisiana, they can know where you're from. Like people in Lake Charles, Lafayette, Baton Rouge, and New Orleans, they all talk differently. Even though each one of those cities is only an hour away from each other, every one of them has a slightly different way that they talk. And because I have been to all those cities, well, except Baton Rouge, I don't like Baton Rouge, but I love NOLA and I love Lafayette. I don't like Lake Charles, but I grew up there. So that's why I got that. So my accent is kind of like a combination between those 3 cities. So when people hear me talk, they're like, where are you from exactly? You know, but it's because I've picked up on so many different ways of speaking throughout my life that as I talk, sometimes it sounds more Lafayette, and then other times it sounds more New Orleans. New Orleans people sound like they from Jersey, even though it's from the South. It's really strange, you know.
So back on the topic of Hank, though, I understand why they went with the red, white, and blue livery.
Yeah.
But personally, I would have rather just seen the K4 and the Pennsylvania Railroad livery. You know, I understand, yeah, it's not going to be as flashy. It's not going to be as colorful. It's probably not going to be as appealing to kids. But at the same time, it's just, I think it looks better.
I mean, Corey, you answered your own question right there. They wasn't going to do it because it wouldn't appeal to kids, you know? So is that what it was based off of, though? A Pennsylvania steam?
K4.
Oh, that's really cool. I didn't know that.
Yes.
Eating a white chocolate. A white chocolate peanut butter egg. Not going to say whose egg it is, though, but there's only so many people that make them.
No product placement. That's what you get in trouble. You mention brand names or what have you.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of brands, anybody know what's on Corey's hat?
Yeah.
It's the Mad Bomber, episode 1.
You're jealous because you ain't got one. Jeez, there's just like hardly anyone here.
I know, it's kind of disappointing. When we streamed on Saturday, there was like 4 people. But I think you're the only one left, Levi.
Well, what is it?
I mean, I know people, this will be uploaded so people can still watch it on YouTube.
7-6-5-4. It's almost 5 o'clock on the West Coast. But
what time did we do it last time? 8 o'clock?
Yeah. 8 o'clock, but that was on a Saturday, though. This is a weekday.
Yeah, maybe that's why.
Well, 5 o'clock on the West Coast, 5 o'clock, everyone's probably just getting off work by then.
Yeah, to be fair, it could be
it's kind of, it is what it is, I guess. I mean, hell, I think right now it's probably like 2 o'clock in the morning in the UK.
Yeah. Well, if you knew where the majority of your followership came from,
United States,
that would help you with determining
United States,
do
definitely
certain things.
Definitely United States.
Because, if
to where in the United States, I don't think you could pinpoint that.
Like, if you know where your audience is being generated from and what time zones they're in or whatever, doing that really, really helps a lot with something like this. But I know that people will just, I know that people can just very obviously,
join and watch at your own leisure.
Join and watch at their own leisure. But of course, it's just so much more fun to have people.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think part of it goes back to viewership problems. You and I were talking about that earlier today. Viewership itself has basically been down on YouTube for a lot of people, myself included. Because I was just complaining to Zach earlier today. I've got close to 2,000 subscribers. I think I'm like 12 away from 2,000 subscribers. And a majority of my videos barely pull a couple hundred views out of 2,000 people. Now, it does not matter what content I upload, whether it's train content, diecast content, Thomas and Friends content, American Truck Simulator, music covers.
Yeah, because Corey has like, oh, we have 3 people now. I don't know who. Oh, hey, Eddie. It's okay. I'm just going to beat your ass later. But, I'm glad you showed up.
But, yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem to matter what content I upload. It struggles to pull a couple hundred views, again, out of 2,000 people. And you got to wonder to yourself, why is that?
Hey, Douglas.
You would think that out of 2,000 people that are subscribed to your channel, at least something would pull a decent number of views close to that number.
Right.
The only video I have, which was uploaded 4 months ago, is my Ertl Scrapyard video. That video, I guess at this date, has pulled, I think, 1,900 views.
Yeah.
Which is close to 2,000 subscribers I have. But it's like, then I got other videos where I'm looking at basically Ertl content and a couple hundred views. It is weird.
Guess what, Eddie? I got this. Boom. You want some more? Boom. Boom. There you go.
He's got the G word and he's promoting the V word. Demonetization.
I will say this, like, I know what Corey means, because back when I had my original channel of NZ Arduan, which Corey, he says my name wrong on purpose, but the correct name is NZ Arduan, because my last name is Arduan. It's a Cajun French word. And then my name is Zach and my brother's name is Nick. So we took our initials and our last name, NZ Arduan, because it was a joint account.
And then your brother got his own
And then
account.
my brother got his own account, John Deere Man 567 or 530.
Yeah, I love how we credited him last year. It's like,
we credited him and he don't even have that account no more.
He hadn't had that account for over a decade.
Like the account, I think he deleted it.
I remember that so well because he deleted that account right before he went back to school after the summer was over.
Yep.
I remember that. I don't know how I remember that.
Because he didn't want people finding it.
Because I got the memory of a goldfish, but it's like, I can't remember something important.
I did change my name to Zardar, though, because I do think it's cool that, my original YouTube name, I think, is still going to, like, forever and always be NZ Arduan, but you can change, like, the username. So I made it Zardar because I felt like that was a little catchier and, like, easier for people to comprehend, I guess you could say,
then
rather
you
than
have
NZ Arduan.
Then you have Zack Attack.
Right. So the account that I actually post to now is called Zack Attack. And I think it's just Zack Attack, or maybe it's Zack_Attack. I haven't been on the account in a while. When I'm on my mobile phone, I'm actually using my original YouTube account always. So I'm definitely much more active with it. Maybe I need to switch over to Zack Attack with the phone. I don't know. But anyway, point is, when I had my YouTube channel back in the day and I only had like 200 subscribers, I started posting at some point Tommy Thomas remakes. And you know how I was doing them? I didn't know how video editing worked. I literally had a TV. I was in my bedroom. I had the TV VHS playing the actual episode from the TV. I would record and then I'd play the TV. And so you would hear the music, like this episode playing in the background. And that was the episode. This was before I knew how to take audio, put it on the, I didn't know a lot back then. But even those shitty ass remakes that I made, they got tens of thousands of views.
Actually, I
think one of them even got 1 million.
Yeah.
1 million views, and I only had like 200 or 300 subscribers. And I literally got 1 million views.
I think some of it,
my Tommy remake of the World's Strongest Engine. I don't know.
I think some of it just has to do with if you're lucky enough that your video just happens to be uploaded at the right time where it gets thrown into the YouTube algorithm.
Yep.
I got another good example for you. Go back, not last year, but I think the year before, my first Ertl Showcase video. And this was back when I think I just passed 1,000 subs. That video, I uploaded it within a week. It pulled 14,000 views in 1 week. It pulled 14,000 views. But after it hit that 14,000 mark, it just slowly continued to climb. Right. And I think it's at like 15,000 now. And it's one of those deals. It's almost like the video was doing so well
that YouTube was like, nah, bro, we're gonna get that out of here. You're doing too well. We're gonna take it all to algorithm.
Because I want to know, how does a video like that is doing so well just suddenly
stop,
just drop right off the network?
Because I mean,
and like I said, it's so weird too. Because again, if I've only got maybe a little over 1,000 subscribers and that video is pulling 14,000 views, that means it has to be recommended somewhere.
Because those 14,000 views, they're not all of a sudden subscribing to Corey's account. Maybe a couple of them are, but just because his video got 14,000 views, he's still only going to get like maybe 50 subs from it.
Well, and there was another thing. I was amazed the amount of revenue that video was pulling.
Yeah.
At that time.
And like me, I had a video with literally 1 million subscribers and I maybe got like 100 subs. I mean, I definitely started to climb after that. In fact, even though I don't post on the channel anymore, I think my Nazar doing Zardar account, it has like 1,750 subs, even though it's basically like a non-active account, which is cool. I mean, I've worked hard for those, but I had a video with 1 million video views.
You had one viral video.
And I still only had like 300 subs. Corey has 2,000 subscribers and he uploads on a weekly basis and he still only gets like 50 views. So something is not right here.
Well, like I said, it's kind of crazy because, again, you go back to the uploads I've done and again, 2,000 subscribers on my channel. Any video I upload, regardless what the content seems to be, what it's related to, only struggles to pull only a couple hundred views. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You got to wonder where the audience is. Now, I have heard someone I talked to did say that part of the problem roots back to these people who subscribe to your channel, but they don't click the bell icon.
That's why everybody says to click the bell.
But it makes no sense why you should have to do that.
You shouldn't even have to click the bell. As soon as you subscribe to somebody, you should get updates from them. Why do you have to do? It's like you almost have to do like this second layer of subscribing to someone. Like, oh, I subscribe to Corey a little bit, but if I want to get like all this stuff, I got to click that bell. It's so stupid.
Then, I mean, another thing I heard, which this was a topic that another tuber was talking about in their live chat a couple of years ago, I think it was actually. But they were saying they noticed their subscriber count was going down. Like, they have well over 100,000 subs, but they would be losing 1,000 subscribers a day, and they wouldn't know why. Well, rumor has it that supposedly if you're subscribed to a channel, but you don't interact with that channel in a certain amount of time, if you don't do anything, if you don't watch, if you don't like, if you don't comment, if you don't do anything, supposedly after a set amount of time, YouTube automatically unsubscribes you from that channel.
Which that's not cool.
I don't know if that's true or not. I can kind of see the reasoning behind it, I guess, because if let's say that 10 years ago, you started a YouTube channel called Fluffy Kittens, and you haven't used that channel at all, like you haven't even logged into that channel for the last decade, well, yeah, YouTube is probably going to unsubscribe you because, well, I think you people get where I'm going with this. They want to try to weed out these abandoned channels, I guess.
Right. And, and I mean, like Corey and his live streams, for example, I know that live streams, like YouTube live streams, are probably not as popular as like TikTok live streams or whatever, but Corey does these live streams, quite a lot. Corey usually gives really advanced notice. He's always very active on his community tabs. I mean, tonight, I think we only announced the live stream for tonight this morning.
Yeah.
But he's been announcing for like 2 or 3 weeks now that I'm coming and that we're making videos.
And I mean, that's the thing. Like, anytime I get someone here, whether it be Zach, whether it be Eddie, whether it be Christian, whether it be Douglas, yes, I'm still waiting for you to get your ass over here to the East Coast.
You better come, Douglas.
I like to do these live chats because, the other person is right here, and it gives the audience a chance to interact with me and them.
I'm physically touching Corey. Like,
Yeah,
I'm here. I'm here. No green screen.
Yeah, I can slap him.
Oh my gosh. Violence.
Hey, I was nice to you there.
Oh my god.
Actually, some guys do that to women. We won't go there.
Yeah, that's like,
let's
everybody says, oh my god, let's go back to the 1920s, the 1930s. Man, you know what them people did to they women back then? If the supper if the supper wasn't cooked, boom.
Moving on.
Get in that kitchen, woman. Misogyny. They couldn't even vote or have bank accounts back then. Hell no, I don't want to go back to the 1920s. It might have been cool, culturally speaking, but no, sir. I'm cool with,
I get the feeling this live stream is going to be demonetized.
I've played Super Mario Galaxy.
Like literally.
What?
Like literally, some of the stupid shit you get that demonetizes a video. I mean, there's an interesting, because you were just talking about misogyny there. Another YouTuber I know, I guess I love ranting about this. They were making jokes when, as I call it, the scam-demic was going on. They made a joke in one of their Reddit videos where they were saying about these people who wear a mask that don't even cover their nose, like they just cover their mouth. He's like, what, saying about like, what good's that going to do? YouTube goes after him for medical misinformation. Really?
Crazy.
Because he said, oh, these people that wear a mask down below their nose, medical misinformation. Really? It was a joke. I mean, that's what Facebook there on the Plowbender page, they pulled. There was a fake eBay listing. I don't want to talk too much about it, but when the invasion was going on with Ukraine, there was a fake eBay listing for a Russian tank, which another tuber I know shared this on their Twitter page, and I thought it was quite comical. So I shared it on my YouTube. I shared it on my Facebook, and Facebook takes it down because it contained false information. And it's like, you can't take a joke. It's like, of course it's fake.
Indeed.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, I am so sick of this. Like, you can't have any fun on the internet anymore. Which, I mean, that probably goes back to something we talked about before there in the other stream. You get these people that can just put up whatever and they get away with it. Then you get someone that does something innocent. And
I think Super Mario is really cool, Levi. I've played Super Mario Kart. The only game that I actually really ever owned, though, was Super Smash Bros. Because it's got Mario in it, and Super Mario Galaxy. I think Super Mario Galaxy is one of like the funnest games I've ever played, and I've always wanted it to be ported over to like Nintendo Switch or something. I guess just growing up, I had like a Game Boy and I had like a Nintendo DS. But I mostly played like Yu-Gi-Oh! And like Pokemon and Naruto and like a couple of RPGs. So even though I was playing like Nintendo consoles, the actual Nintendo games, like Mario, just never really translated over to my realm. I don't know. So I do like Mario, but I guess I'm not like a uber fan of it, I guess. But I have played it. And I think that Super Mario Galaxy, a lot of people might argue with me about this. I think that Super Mario Galaxy is like one of the best, like one of the GOATs, one of the greatest of all time Mario games. Like it's probably just, kind of like a modern day version of like Mario on the Super Nintendo, but still, it's pretty awesome.
I don't know. That just showed up in my recommended.
Oh, I like it.
I'm sure you do.
I do like it a lot. Let's see.
I need a little more estrogen, though.
Super Mario Odyssey, huh?
Anyways.
So we're 55 minutes in. We could probably, since Eddie and, and we have a fourth. By the way, if you're joining this chat, we can see that someone is in the chat, but we don't know who you are. So if you want us to shout you out or say hello, you have to leave a comment. If you don't leave a comment, then we don't know.
Maybe it's a hater who's going undercover.
Who you are. Okay, Corey, don't be paranoid.
Well, I'm just saying, maybe they don't want to be known that they're watching. I mean, that's cool. I got people that, they hate me, yet they go on my pages all the time to see what I do.
We were gonna cut it off at about an hour, but
whatever,
since everybody's starting to show up now, I guess I'll do it a little longer. I mainly just wanted to not be still doing it because I'm trying to get back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Chronicles. I swear to God, I want that damn video done before I leave. Or at least have all the damn clips together, and so where Corey can do the stuff, but I gotta do some packing too. You know what? How about this? I want you to take over for me real quick because I need to go to my car and get some things.
It's not your car.
Oh my God. My rental car, Corey. And I need to make sure I got all my crap out of it because I'm probably gonna go pack. So I'll be gone for like 10 minutes. Take over, Corey.
And do you want me to finish the stream without you, or are you coming back?
I'm coming back.
All right.
I'm coming back. So don't end it without me.
All right. So it's just me and 4 other people. Not sure what to say.
Well, you normally do this alone. Come on, Corey. Why don't you just tell me?
I hate being alone most of the time.
Tell them about the weekend. I don't know.
Then again, I don't even like having myself around.
4 people looking at your face in a live chat.
Yeah.
Do something.
I apologize for all the ugly. Anyways, yeah. So I guess talk about projects and such, YouTube projects and what have you. So basically, I've got a few videos coming up on the channel here. There's a train video coming up tomorrow. Nothing related to anything Zach and I did this weekend. Got that coming up. There's also going to be another upload I'm planning for Thursday. I don't know what it's going to be yet because I've got some stuff in queue right now. But in terms of like videos that Zach and I did, there's going to be one video from Doolittle's. There's going to be another video from the Clarion Tunnel. I guess there's going to be another one from the Clarion Tunnel, which is kind of going to be a vlog about this video project I've been working on helping them with. And there might be possibly a couple other shorter videos after that. I'm not exactly sure, but those 3 that I mentioned are definitely ones that are going to happen. In terms of, well, I am going to let you guys who are joining in the stream here, I am going to let you into a little secret. I've got another Erdl showcase video coming up. It's going to feature customs that I've recently did. I don't believe I have any of the ones which are going to appear in that video here at the moment. So, yeah, apologies for that. If I had one of them here, I'd show it to you. But, yeah, that's going to be coming up here. Oh, hell, that might be the first video next month, actually. Or I might upload it Thursday. I'm not exactly sure yet. We'll just have to wait and see what happens here. Hey, Douglas. Forgot to say hi to you the first time. But, what else? So, yeah. I'm trying to see here because I know I got my my desktop's kind of messed up at the moment. There's the videos I got. Okay, I only got 2 videos at the moment that are finished, ready for upload. But yeah, like I said, I got at least 3 more videos that Zach and I worked on here over the weekend. Oh man, I really got to get my desktop cleaned up. Part 3 of the Henrietta project's definitely something else I need to get back to. I've got these parts that my friend Daniel sent me. They've been sitting under the workbench here for a year now. He's probably wondering whatever happened to everything. Now, I was hoping to get Henrietta done for the train show, which was supposed to happen this weekend, but unfortunately, it didn't happen. Because the show got canceled. Just trying to see here. I'm not really seeing anything at the moment in terms of like video projects and such. But I know I do have a couple large scale reviews I want to get around to because I've got 3 more models sitting under my workbench at the moment. Plus, I think I got some other smaller things I want to take a look at. And I guess I can show this. I gotta grab it first here. I'm going to be taking a look at this. I know what you guys are thinking. What the hell is wrong with me? That's a question you don't want to know the answer to. But yeah, pay $10 for this at the dollar store. I'm curious to see what you get for your money. But anyways, yeah, that's something else I'm going to be looking at here. And also, another video I'm going to have to get to is, well, that's why it's in the next episode of Watch Plowbender Waste His Money. Another project that I'm going to have to get to is, being that the upcoming toy show is happening next weekend, I've got a table in the background here that I got to get put back together. I'm currently working on the rail line over on the side here. But there's going to be a video of that show when I go to it. So I'm hoping to get everything put together so that when I go there, I can get all the videoing out of the way in the morning, which will give me the afternoon, or, even early in the morning, afternoon, to basically just sit back and enjoy the show. Because one thing it's kind of been my problem for the last how many years this show's been going on. Granted, it was canceled for 2 years. I've had these problems of having to try to go throughout the day to these tables and displays and all this and that, and video everything, take photos, etc. And after a while, it basically gets old. And then if I don't get to it, or I forget something, then I'm trying to hurry up and get around the fire hall there and get photos or video of things before everyone starts taking stuff down at 3 o'clock. And I mean, you even get some of these vendors, they'll leave early. Like, some of them will get out of there at noon because the show starts at 9. They come there, they spend 3 hours, and then they go home. One guy I used to know there, he used to go to the show with his son. His son was, we'll just say, on the spectrum. But unfortunately, he passed away. It's probably been over 5 years ago now. And sadly, he doesn't go there anymore, because he used to be a father-son outing. But after his son died, I guess he just didn't want to go anymore. But, he was one of those ones that would not stay till the end of the show. He was usually out of there by noon. Then there's other guys, depending on what happens, if they're not, if they're vendors selling stuff and stuff's not moving, some of them may just pack it up and leave right then and there. So, it really depends. But again, I like to try to get all my videoing and photoing out of the way. Even just, photos. You can do those in the afternoon, no problem. Granted, this is a smaller show compared to some of the other ones out there. So, you know, it's one of those deals trying to, and I mean, another thing is it's a 1 day thing. It's not like a weekend, like an entire weekend, Friday through Sunday. It's literally Sunday from 9 to 4, which you might as well say 9 to 3, and that's it. He's actually packing his bags for tomorrow, Eddie, so I'd assume he's going to be a while. It's just how it is, I guess. Oh, so here's another thing, since I think this will probably be interesting. I was at Doolittle's there yesterday, like I said, with Zach, and I picked up some models to basically service. I got to take time, clean things up. I'll just move the camera down here. These are the old Blockman Hogwarts coaches. Really nothing needs to be done with those. Just brought them home to clean them, I guess. But yeah, some of this stuff, either it needs cleaned up or the couplers need replaced, because there were some of these, the couplers were really bad on them. I've been trying to gather up rolling stock and such to basically take back with me and work on, like this one here. The coupler is missing the little spring that keeps it closed. And I mean, this car could definitely use a good cleaning. Then there's other stuff here, which I believe does not even have the right couplers on it. But yeah, basically got to take time. I do a lot of servicing to all this stuff, and it'll be going back to Doolittle's here at some point. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. I think it's like the third or fourth box of stuff I brought home with me to work on. And like these box cars right here, these box cars, these were just picked up recently at a expo, and they are in need of some work and a good cleaning too. One thing I've gotten into doing, and I think it definitely helps, is these brake hoses underneath the couplers. These tend to get caught on switches or low track. I like to go ahead and trim these off some so they're not causing problems. And I think I actually got, I don't know actually if there's one here or not, but I know some of the stuff I have actually started trimming. Well, actually I got one here. I just grabbed one of my switcher units. You can see, you compare the coupler there, you can see the difference. You know, you just trim it down a little bit and it still looks good. Yeah, you can see it still looks good. But a lot of modelers, they'll do that. They'll trim those brake hoses down because they just cause problems. Eddie. Zach, trying to keep track of all these people's names. Zach was actually running these with his duck there, Doolittle's yesterday, being they don't have any other stock. But something else here, I'll go ahead and grab real quick. I also got this box of stuff, which I've been keeping around here. This is all stuff that came from Doolittle's as well. Broken trolley car. I mean, this stuff's pretty much all parts. This is a passenger car, B&O passenger car. It's got, the one truck on this is broke because it fell off the layout. And granted, these trucks are pretty wore. The wheels don't stay in them anymore. But yeah, and then there's like this Tyco locomotive. It doesn't run. There's also the Blockman Hogwarts locomotive in here. It doesn't, well, it runs, but not very well because of the valve gear. A couple hopper cars that fell off the layout. They're too damaged. A couple circus cars, which are, well, a lot needs done to them, basically. Got a hopper or a gondola here that's all right, but it's missing the ends. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that still needs work for the layouts and such, and I've been trying to work on things when I can. It'd be nice to get some more volunteers to help with stuff because, well, I've got more than my fair share of stuff here at the moment to take care of. But yeah, like I said, it was one of those deals. Yesterday there, Zach and I, we picked up this box of stuff to basically bring back and service. and hopefully I can get through some of this next time. Next time I get back to Doolittle's there, I'll take time and put that stuff back on the layout and probably fill up another box of stuff to go ahead and bring back here and work on. Also discovered I was having problems here. I got my GG1 and I was having trouble running it on the layout. I just couldn't get it to work. It would crawl, but that was it. And originally I thought it was the starter set controllers which were causing issues, which here's another something for you. I've brought up these starter set controllers before, and recently for the G-scale loop and the trolley track, the starter set controllers were swapped out for a bigger one, basically a dual unit. So it'll be nice to have those now. It'll be nice to have that now for those, but you definitely need something like that for the big HO layout as well. But anyways, with this GG1, I put it on another layout and it did the same crawl, but it tripped the breaker in the controller. So somewhere there's a short in this unit, which means at some point I'm going to have to tear it apart, mess with it. I bought this basically secondhand, and really the last time I ran it was the second time that I ran it. So I'm hoping there's not problems. Because if there is, you know, it's one of those deals. I didn't run this till months after I bought it. But, you know, I'm hoping it's not too much work because I do want to keep this. It took me a long time to find this model. That particular road number, that is. But, yeah. What else? You guys have already seen the video on this, but I'll go ahead and show it again. G-Scale NW-2. Really like this unit. Had a few problems with it when I got it, but not a bad model in any way. First ever USA Trains model that I purchased. And getting a little dusty from sitting here. But yeah, really, really nice unit. I was really happy to get my hands on this. And at the price, really wasn't bad. What, I think I said $227 for this unit. Would like to get a second one at some point. Eddie's giving me help because I don't want the calf unit. I want another switcher, but I mean, hey, I like this. So, and I mean, I like these switcher units in general, but yeah. And then USA Trains, they did have, I think it was a matrix basically they had for these units, so you could get different road numbers and such. I was a little disappointed when I thought it came with a factory installed speaker in the fuel tank, and it doesn't. So if I want to add sound to this at some point, I'm going to have to get a speaker. Probably won't be that hard. But I believe Phoenix has a sound system for this, but you're paying upwards of like $200, I think, for the module. So unfortunately, that's more than I want to pay, but if you want the DCC and sound, you got to pay a little bit extra.
Got to pay the bucks. Got to pay the cost to be the boss. Oh, by the way, I'm back.
No shit, Sherlock.
What? I'm going to leave this script with you.
For what?
Just in case.
Yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that in a safe somewhere.
Okay.
And I'm going to leave it for 20 years.
Okay.
And then we'll come back to it at some point.
Cool.
We did have the Annie and Clarabelle there, Eddie, but they were behind Thomas, and you'll see that in the video coming up here at some point.
Wait, what? Is it about Doolittle?
Yeah, he was asking why we didn't run Annie and Clarabelle with your duck and use the Hogwarts coaches instead. I mean, granted, I think the Hogwarts
look cooler.
Yeah.
You know, Duck never took Annie and Clarabelle. He took express coaches, honey.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. I am looking forward. Well, he did take Annie and Clarabelle in The Runaway.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, remember that episode? Thomas went to the works.
No, because that was a terrible episode of Thomas.
If you say so. But yeah, I was gonna say there, you know, I do need to, and I guess that's why trying to get some British rolling stock, so I can have some of that to run stuff at Doolittle's. That's what Eddie there, I guess, when he makes the trip later this year, I guess he's bringing a bunch of stuff along, which quite looking forward to. And him and I will probably do the same thing Zach and I did. We'll go to Doolittle's for the day because that's what we did last year. Quite a good time, but if I remember right, when we got out of there, the weather was really bad. I think it was raining. It was pouring.
The weather sucked all weekend, honestly, except for
I was
yesterday.
talking when me and Eddie went.
Oh, gotcha.
I mean, that was a pretty good day, though. Because him and I, we actually ate at the pizza shop. That was before it changed hands. Oh, good times. Good times. That's what, I guess it's still, it's still down there. Also had my Dash 8. I was running my Dash 8 on the layout as well. Really like that unit. And Zach couldn't believe I only paid $500. Yeah, $555 for the thing.
That is a good price.
I mean, like I said, I paid a little more than I wanted to for the GG1, but it was
seized out.
This particular unit was the one I wanted, and I was willing to pay that money. The only thing I was a little bit annoyed about was right after I bought this one, I found one that was about $8 or $9 cheaper. And I was telling Eddie about it. He's like, oh, well, it's $8, $9. He's like, yeah, but still, it's kind of irritating. I could have just ran a simple search to see if there was one on there before I made that purchase. But
so wait, this thing has 20 wheels on it?
The GG1? Probably. You got 12 for the trucks.
And 8. So, yep. 20 wheels. That's a lot.
Well, that's what those GG1s. I don't feel like digging it out, but you remember that rail bus I got? I had that beside the GG1 there. I'm like, damn, that thing's, massive. And then, the GG1s, I think these units themselves were like 80 feet long.
Wow.
Beautiful models. Now, here's a question for you. Do you prefer the Brunswick Black or the Tuscan Red?
This is the red?
Yep.
I like the red.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way myself. I mean, the black definitely, or I guess it's Brunswick Green, actually. But, yeah, that's what a girl I knew there, I asked her that question, and she told me she preferred the Tuscan Red. I mean, it really is a beautiful color, but I definitely would say the Brunswick Green looks good, too. Yeah, I don't care for the Penn Central, personally. That it just doesn't do it for me. Oh, geez. If we double head our GG1s, can you imagine the consoles we could have behind those? And I mean, especially considering the length of the layout there. I mean, granted, hopefully you wouldn't pull the train off on the curves.
I'd be worried about that.
Well, I don't think the helix would be a problem. I don't think there'd be any problems there. But, the other end of the car where you enter, that is a tighter radius. So, yeah, we'll see what happens, I guess. We may have to put another unit somewhere in the middle, maybe. No, I still don't care for the Amtrak myself. Just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just too used to the Pennsylvania Railroad liveries. But yeah. I don't know. You want to wrap things up here for too much longer?
Yeah, hold up. Be right back.
What else? I would like to get myself a steam locomotive at some point. What I'm interested in particular, if I can look it up here, because I did see they have them, and the stream is probably going to lag when I start running a search here. basically want to get my hands on a 210O, which would basically be a decapod class. Now, the one I want to get in particular, they do make, but it's not exactly like what I want. Because what I'm aiming for is basically a replica of Stroudsburg Railroad number 90. But the Russian decapod. But unfortunately, you can't get one exactly like number 90, but I'm half tempted to maybe get one, modify it slightly. I'm not doing a complete rebuild, but it's like I'm planning on, if I get one, get it, slightly modify it, re-decal it, and call it a day. Because unless you're a rivet counter, you're really not gonna notice.
Hey, we have a fifth person. Hello, fifth person. Nice to see you.
That fifth person is you.
Whoever you are.
That fifth person is you. You came back, so you're the fifth person.
Oh, I guess so, huh?
Welcome.
But unfortunately, the last 2 times I've been here too, me and Corey usually like to play zombies together. We did not play zombies or watch a movie or nothing the whole time we've been here because it's my fault, really, because I've been so hyper-focused on this stupid Yu-Gi-Oh! Which it's not stupid, but,
Well, depending on who you ask.
It's a very complex video, and I'm very proud of it, especially because we haven't made anything like this in, like, a decade. The last episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Chronicles was posted in, like, May of 2014, like, literally when we graduated, so...
2014.
9 years later... You made another one.
2014 was a good year. Back then, I was so innocent. And
my favorite year was 2019 because I was with my partner at the time, and even though
2019 was not a good year for me,
even though our relationship, ended up getting destroyed during the COVID pandemic, and we hate each other to this day, which is unfortunate because I did hate him.
Yeah, I'd rather not go back to 2019 myself.
It was a good year for me. I had a blast in 2019, and then 2020 came and my life sucks. Well, it doesn't suck, but
it was funny because after what I went through in 2019, I honestly thought things were going to get better in 2020. I couldn't have been more wrong.
I remember for New Year's Day, like after I kissed my, partner, I posted on Facebook. I was like, 2020, is this the year that the world sees clearly? Because, when you go to the eye doctor, if they say you have 20/20 vision, that's like, boom, you got perfect vision. No, that, like, we went pretty much negative 20/20 in 2020. Like, oh my God. Life sucked.
Well, that's what...
And, my life isn't the same anymore. It's good in a lot of ways, but I have had to sort of, I guess, I don't know how to say this, re-identify myself. I've had to reclaim what certain things mean in my life to change their meaning in order to keep them around,
Well, I kind of look back on it and laugh now, but anyways, I remember I said about when 2020 started, 2023 started, I was kind of surprised just how bad it was for so many people I knew, because there was people I knew right at the beginning of 2023. They were dealing with problems, whether it was family issues, breakups, or relationship issues. There was people I knew that lost their jobs. There was other people I knew that were dealing with, I don't want to say the word, but ending their life, basically. And there was a lot of people I knew that were dealing with other issues like depression, drama, whether it be real life or online.
On the first day of the year, me and my partner broke up because of some stupid crap.
And meanwhile,
from him,
And meanwhile, when all these people I know are dealing with these problems, no offense to them, not trying to be an ass to them, I was kind of laughing because it's like, oh, I'm doing pretty good. But I even remember I told Zach at one point there when he was saying about the problems he was having, I'm like, I think we need to go back to 2022 because 2023 is not starting out too bad. And I kind of consider myself lucky because I'm like, in the month of January, I'm like, oh, I'm doing pretty good compared to everyone else. Oh, yeah.
My
Right at the
God.
beginning of February, shit hit the fan for me too. And it's like, and I mean, people know because I was gone from YouTube for an entire month. With what I was dealing with, I could not put up with the stress of being on YouTube. And, I told everyone, it's like, I got to take a hiatus. And I mean, the whole time I'm just thinking to myself, it's like, I thought this year was working out so well for me, but it's like right at the beginning of February, right when I least suspected it, shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
And it's, I managed to pull myself out of that here at the beginning of March because I basically told myself, it's like, I'll be in this slump for a little bit, but after February's out, I got to try to get back out there, got to get back on YouTube. And I mean, granted, I still did things in my everyday life because that's kind of an obligation, but things like YouTube, it's optional. But with the stress I was dealing with, I did not need something like YouTube where I have to get something done for YouTube because, again, it's not an obligation for me. It's more so a hobby. If you start doing it as an obligation, you start to lose the enjoyment of it. But yeah, it's like, here we are. March is almost out. We're almost into April now. And it's one of those deals. It's like the new year just did not start out that great for a lot of people I knew.
Oh no, and I mean, I still feel like that I'm working through it because like the person that I broke up with, or rather he broke up with me, it was kind of like we was constantly in this like back and forth for just a couple of weeks. And then of course Valentine's Day, it really kind of like brought us together. So it kind of seemed like, okay, well, it's working itself out. Well, at the end of the month, his birthday's like on March the 1st, and I had some bad news that I had to tell him. And this on again, off again thing, after I gave him the news that I gave him, it's off. And I'm kind of glad that it is. I'm pissed off about it. I'm upset about it because he's an asshole, and I think that if he was any kind of, valuable, nice person, that he wouldn't have cut off the relationship that we had just because of what I told him. I had to tell him something that was kind of embarrassing, but it can happen to anybody. I'm not going to say what it was, but something that happens, like a oopsies, something that I expected him to not be super thrilled about, but again, something that, give it a little time, work through it, be fine. Well, we ain't talking no more. We ain't hanging out no more. Ain't talking no more. Ain't doing nothing no more. And I'm actually like really happy about it because I never realized until it was over how much chaos it was bringing into my life. This whole on again, off again thing, my life was like this.
Not a healthy
Not
way to live.
not healthy, not sure what to do. And even though I'm sad a little bit that it's like over, immediately after, like within 1 week after it was over and broken up for good between us, I've started meeting people again. Like I'm making good friends. People are coming, just out of nowhere, like, hey, what's up? So I'm realizing and starting to connect with these social opportunities that were probably there the whole time, but I just wasn't paying attention to them. And now that I am, I'm being brought a lot of fulfillment because of it, And I mean, I'm going to see Corey. There's other people, like I mentioned earlier in the live stream. I have a friend named Devin who lives in Kentucky. We've been friends for about 4 or 5 years over the internet, but we want to meet. So sometime this year, I'm hoping maybe like in the summer or something, I'm going to go to Kentucky and I'm going to meet him, kind of like similar circumstances with Corey. And all of these things I really probably couldn't do if I was still with this person. And so even though, like I said, it sucks when relationships end, when one door closes, another door opens. Sometimes you have to keep knocking on it, but eventually a door will open and you will see your truth and go in a better direction than what you were.
Sometimes I just say screw it and crawl through a window.
I guess you could do that too. You know. Oh damn! I'm sorry you lost your job, Eddie. Did you get a new job yet?
No, I think he's taking it easy for a while. All right, it's been an hour and a half. We probably should wrap things up now. As much as we seem to find something to keep talking about, we should wrap things up here.
Right. I really don't want to. I hate that this trip. It seems like that this went by really fast.
You do realize when you leave here,
yeah,
it's going to be some really quiet, dull evenings for a while.
I have that effect on people because I'm I have a lot of energy.
Like I said, it's kind of funny because I remember, again, Christian, who lives in a city, he was out here one weekend and then he went home and he was even telling me, he's like, I honestly miss it.
Goodbye, Levi. Thanks for joining the chat for the whole hour and a half. That was really impressive.
Yeah, I like living out here in the corner of nowhere because there's just way too much chaos in the big cities.
I mean, there is. It's give and take. I like the stimulation that comes with the city because I get kind of pressed. I really get, in my head about things. I'm very social. I have to be around people, going to like see live music or events. Like that's a really big part of me and what I like and what makes me, not go off the freaking side of the Clarion River Bridge, I'm being a little metaphorical and facetious here, but the point is people have different versions of doing what makes them happy and what makes them feel, content with themselves, I guess. Corey likes living in bum F Egypt, BFE, and I like living in the city, And there's nothing wrong with either one of them.
Well,
it's just all about what fits you.
I've said this numerous times before, and I'll say it again. I used to be a people person, then people ruined it for me.
People ruined it. I know. People ruined it for me too, because I'm a nurse. And I got to deal with people. I don't like it. I'm just like a glorified drug dealer because there's people.
Now, there you said drug dealer. Now we're demonetized.
People in the hospital, they in pain. They want pain medicines, but sometimes it doesn't really feel like I'm a nurse. Sometimes I just feel like a pill pusher, I don't get to do so much nursing stuff. It's just charting on the stupid computer and giving people their meds and like whatever else comes up, And it takes me all 12 hours to do it. It's a busy job. The only reason why I keep it is because I get to have 8 days off and come do this.
And it's good pay.
I mean, I make pretty decent money doing it. And I'm on my third nursing.
Cash is king.
I'm on my third nursing job right now. And we just finished the first quarter of the year. And I looked at my year to date on my paycheck and everything. And there's some good numbers. Not 6 figs, but some good numbers. I'm hoping to make 6 figs one day, but for now, I'm about 80% of the way there.
I got a cousin who works with USDA there.
Yeah.
She makes 6 figures a year.
It's nice.
Plus, holiday bonuses and things like that.
Usually 6-figure a year jobs are salary, which is the only thing that sucks about them. So, you got to be very diligent with your time. Because if you stay longer, you ain't getting paid to stay longer, honey. So I hate salary jobs. But if I was going to make 6 figures, I would consider, taking one. Or at least a job like my ex. He was the general manager of a trailer home company, which is kind of sounds white trash, not going to lie. But these are some pretty nice trailer homes. And his salary, I Googled it because he didn't tell me. The salary of the GM is like between 60 and 70, but where he really makes his money is that the GM got a commission check. So let's say that for the first quarter of the year, the trailer home business made $20,000 in the green. Half of it would go to the company, and then the other half, after taxes, of course, would then go to the GM. So depending on how much money you made that quarter, you would get, $10 to $30,000 every 3 months. That's some good numbers. Shit, I want that. Not to sell stupid trailer homes, but I want the money.
Oh, don't we all?
And then, of course, like, I could be a travel nurse and make six figures, but there's a lot of, I enjoy the consistency that I get by being a staff nurse and working in my current situation. I almost considered travel nursing as a way to escape life and all of the problems that I was having in 2021 and 2022. But then it just kind of eventually it got better. So my reasons for becoming a travel nurse were no longer there. So I'm happy where I'm at. Yeah, I mean, nursing's good, but there's a lot of things that suck about it. I'm not gonna bring all that garbage into this conversation, but I like my job enough to stay where I'm at for now. Maybe one day I'll do the whole travel nurse thing just for the experience of it, But I really like going to work at the same facility, knowing what to expect, knowing the people, and knowing how to act. Whenever you travel nurse, you don't know where the hell they're going to send you. You're going to be sent here, there, everywhere, and every place going to be different. And some people are going to be really nice to you. Some people are going to be really ugly to you because you're making six figures a year and they're not. And it's just, you're doing a lot of covering your butt, much more than you would as a staff nurse, so. Oh, congrats on your brother turning 9. Happy birthday, upcoming. Well, I hope that you find a job soon, Eddie. That sucks to go into the new year without one. But sometimes, like I said, it may not seem like it at the moment. It can be a very harsh reality to get pulled away from something that we were doing for so long or that we felt comfortable with. But sometimes it is life's way of making room in your world for something even better to fill the spot. So I definitely, keep it up, keep going, don't give up, and you will find something to fill that spot that you might even be happier with. And I hope that happens for you. I really do. That's kind of all I really want to say, because I got to get back to editing Yu-Gi-Oh! Chronicles. It's not going to be done, but I just want to try to get as much of it done as possible so that Corey can sign on to my YouTube and upload it for me.
I'm a hacker. I can type in passwords when I know them.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But yeah, I guess we're going to be heading off here. I'm going to say in another 2 minutes. So if you got anything you want to ask or you want to say, go ahead and do that, because here in another 2 minutes, we're going to be heading off. And sadly, that is going to be NZR Doing's last appearance on the channel, at least live, until possibly next year. So, yeah. But I mean, on the plus side, looking into some more crossovers here. Like I said, Eddie's making the trip at some point. I believe Christian's seeing about making the trip at some point as well. Other than that, not really sure if there's going to be any other meetups, what have you.
Right.
But yeah. Another something I was talking about with Douglas, without giving out too much information here, is, him and I were talking about meeting up sometime there, but he's all the way on the other side of the country. But I was telling him about, some point I would really like to go to Carson in Los Angeles, California, because that's where they have Station 127, which, if you're familiar with your 1970s TV shows, that was the filming location for the 1972 show Emergency. Station 127 was used for the fictional Station 51. But aside from going to Station 127, I also want to check out the LA County Fire Museum, which is actually where they have it's the squad truck, the engine, Actually, both engines from the series. Plus, they, I guess, recently restored one of the ambulances that was in the series as well. But I was telling Douglas, if I was ever able to make it over to the West Coast there, I'd like to, meet up with him and check out those two things that I just mentioned. But I don't know, maybe someday. But anyways, I guess that's going to be it. We're about to crack the 1 hour, 40-minute mark.
Yeah, which is way more than we thought. But, everybody showed. Maybe we should have made the live stream at 9 o'clock instead of 8 o'clock. Because we had to think of our West Coast viewers. But, it's okay.
No. But yeah, anyways, like I said, we're going to be heading off now. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Thanks for supporting me, the channel. Also, go check out Zach's channel. I don't know what all he's got there, but maybe you find something interesting. Also, feel free to check out my pages. Links are in the description. If any of you guys want to continue talking, message me on one of my other pages or message me on Discord. Again, links down below. I will see you guys later.
Thank you all for coming. This has been really great, and I'll hopefully come back either end of next year or same time,
later this year.
Yeah, later this year, I guess. So we'll see.
All right. See you, folks.
Bye.
Till next time.